Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
And just like that, everybody, we are back. Happy, was this day 6 of the manhunt for these Louisiana ne'er-do-wells, these Louisiana loose convicts. Shout out to them, man. This is crazy. This story is just getting more and more bizarre. But I think we kind of thought that it would. I think we kind of expected that things would start, wheels on the bus would start coming off, things would start going a different direction than what we anticipated. And like never fails, never fails. Shout out to everybody who's jumped into the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. If you don't know, I just like to do an update on what's going on with this inmate. The unsupervised inmate departure, the jailbreak that happened in New Orleans this past Friday, so almost a week ago. And it's just been an interesting story. And I'm sure there's going to be more and more unpacking of this story as time goes on. So I'm looking forward to rocking with you. So I just said every night I would just do a quick little update on what's going on. Shout out to a fantastic supporter of this channel, Marshall. He sends me some excellent articles throughout the day. He sent me some articles last night, and that's why I ended up doing a show this morning, because it was such good information I wanted to get out there to you all and kind of give you a lay of the land. I think it's good for us to look at this from multiple different angles, from the convicts. There's a gentleman online who is a former resident of the federal penitentiary who has a YouTube channel now. He just talks about what's going on in jails. He's been doing a fantastic job on this, but then also from the different news sources, as well as the different political entities, and of course, the law enforcement. It's been a lot of fun talking about this. So thank you for jumping in. We're not going to be super long because my in-laws are in town for President Firstborn's graduation tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. So if you could be like Mandy right here, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, share. Absolutely. Let's get at it. So let's jump into it, everybody. Thank you so much. All right, let's go. Louisiana governor issues executive order after breach at Orleans Parish Jail. These people probably want to see that bigger, Jason. Let's make that bigger. All right, let's go. All right. I think that looks good. What you think? All right. One in the green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Asked to call 504-822-1111.
Wait, what happened?
And while that manhunt is unfolding for the 5 still on the run, right now the focus is on securing the prison to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. WDSU's Aubrey Killian has been at jail all morning. Aubrey, you heard from the AG and the DA. They took a tour of that facility. What did they have to say?
Hey, so both had to say a lot. I'm going to show you. We're just going to kind of pan into the jail right now. We've been seeing employees kind of coming and going all throughout the day. Both the DA and the AG did tour the facility. They did say they had some questions and concerns when it comes to the circulation and questions about Sheriff Hudson resigning. They said they would not comment on that. We did speak with DA Williams moments ago. He does say that he does expect more arrests in the coming week. And we also did learn that there's about 160 doors that need to be replaced.
I wasn't coming here to get a reaction. I came in today to gather information, to view the crime scene, to see it for myself. It's one thing to see camera shots and pictures, but I wanted to see exactly where they were able to scale the wall, what door they went out of, how it was secured. I wanted to see the back portion of that toilet area, so we can understand how it was defeated, so we can figure out who all was involved.
And again, a lot of more details expected to be released soon. The Attorney General did say that she feels safe inside of the facility, despite a lot of people disagreeing. Much more on that story coming up on WDSU News at 4. Back to you.
All right, Aubrey.
Hold on. Feeling safe in the jail. Well, yeah. I mean, you probably have security. They probably are on their best behavior. But like, let's go back to last Thursday. I don't know if you'd have been wandering around talking about you feel safe up in there. These people be doing the very most. Like, of course you're going to feel safe because everybody's behaving now. We'll see what happens.
Liz Merrill, the AG, she was also there. We had a chance to talk to her about the maintenance worker who is charged now with aiding in the escape. He made a claim that one inmate on the run threatened him with a shank if he didn't comply. Here's what she had to say.
It starts with somebody reporting that they have a problem. You know, I mean, nobody can do anything about it if they don't know that he's been threatened, if assuming he was, or approached and asked to assist in some of this. You know, I don't know what this person's story is. I can tell you that I don't think it's credible to say that that it was all just a threat and he did everything that he did because somebody threatened him.
Wow.
The man is Sterling Williams. There's his mugshot right there. He was booked on principle to escape and malfeasance in office charges. Court documents allege he admitted to turning off the water so the inmates could remove the toilet and then escape that cell. His next court date will be June 16th and 17th with a bond set right now at over $1 million. And we continue to bring you the very latest detail. Anything that breaks, you get it first here online and on TV. Anything that happens with.
All right. So, man, that is I don't know, man. I feel some kind of way about that. I don't know how I feel about that guy getting, because they're using him as a scapegoat. Somebody mentioned it earlier. He is definitely unequivocally their scapegoat. And I got his attorney has something to say about that. And we're going to talk to we're going to check out what his attorney had to say in a second, as soon as I find it, because I just had it queued up. We're going to listen to what his attorney had to say. I just feel like I feel bad for that guy in a way. Now, I'm not saying that if he did those things, he did those crimes, he's responsible for it. But I just feel like they're really trying to lump him in with everything. Like, no, there's some other people that are equally, if not also, culpable. Sure, this guy cut the water off, no question about that. But there's some other people as well. But let's bring this in. Let me see what y'all think about it. And this is his attorney, the maintenance workers attorney. Shout out to him. Hopefully he gives his name. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. And he just says, New Orleans jail maintenance workers attorney says he is innocent in jailbreak. Okay, let's go.
Mr. Williams is absolutely innocent that he was used as a tool by the escapees and is being used as a fall guy by Sheriff Hudson.
Ooh.
There's been accusations that he turned off the water, moved the toilet. What would you say to these accusations?
Well, first off, him turning off the water is not an accusation. It's a fact. We readily admit that. He is the jail plumber. There was an overflowing toilet in what he tells me was a handicap stall that should not have been in use. Nevertheless, was open, and this toilet apparatus was clogged and spilling out into the floor. He was told by a deputy there was no work order. He asked, and the deputy convinced him that as he was there, could he just look at it? He assessed the situation, determined he would have to shut off the water to fix it, which he did in his role as jail plumber.
What has your client said
Wow.
the threats that he may or may not have received from?
That is a complete mischaracterization by law enforcement.
Oh.
Mr. Williams had a passing exchange with one of the inmates wherein he was assessing the toilet, made the determination he needed to turn off the water. The inmate, as he was there, happened to say something about shanking him. He didn't take this as a threat. He wasn't acting out of fear. He was taking this as normal jailhouse banter. He reported it during his interview with law enforcement because it is a fact that happened. But certainly, as lawyers and journalists both know, not all facts lead somewhere. He stated it as a fact, which it was. The fact that law enforcement has now tried to jump on that and make that his reason for conspiring, I suppose, is nothing more than a fallacy.
Where's your client being held and what comes next for him?
None of your business.
His bond is over $1 million and he's a jail plumber. He has not bonded out. As far as where he's being held, I would prefer to keep that a secret for his own safety.
What did y'all think about the bond that was set?
That I was not in court for that. I was appointed afterwards. I will say, based upon the charges, I understand this is a high-profile, nationally covered case. Nevertheless, when you look at what he's actually charged with versus the amounts, they are way out of bounds. That is completely ridiculous. This is a 33-year-old hometown man. The furthest he's gone away is college just a little up the road, where he was a tuba player in the marching band. He has worked at this jail for 5 years. He has never been arrested before. And now suddenly he's being shipped off to a secret location housed separately from other inmates under a $1.1 million bond that there's simply no need in.
You think there was someone else inside the jail that was helping these inmates?
Do I think so? Yes. Do I have any proof of that? No. And does Sterling? No, because he was not part of any conspiracy. He was doing his job and was apparently used. And let me be clear, I don't think they used Sterling specifically. I think it was using the toilet specifically, and he had the misfortune of being the plumber on duty.
What comes next now? I know y'all were in court yesterday, or your client was. What comes next now for your client?
What should come next is my client going home, where innocent people belong. However, what we can expect is he will go through the screening process, just like any other case that comes to the DA's office. They have up to 60 days to accept or refuse charges. Presuming they choose to accept some charges against him, then we would be set for arraignment and allotted to a court.
All right. So that is his attorney. And I like, you know what? I kind of like that he had at least addressed all of the issues that are the most outstanding. You know, did he cut off the water? Sure, he was the plumber. Pam, you didn't like that tie? I wasn't a fan of the tie either. I'm not a long tie guy. I like bow ties, but I also didn't like how skinny it was. Anyway, I think he did a good job of taking responsibility. Like, now, I do think I've said this before. I do think the maintenance guy is getting the scapegoat treatment because they don't want. There's a lot of other people they need to be talking about, but they keep parading this guy's mugshot out there. They're kind of giving you the idea that he's already guilty. He's the criminal mastermind. I'm expecting him to be named Kingpin or something of that nature next Tuesday. But I wish they would go ahead and talk about, well, who else got suspended? That's who I want to know about. Who got suspended for that? Because therein is the rub. We need to talk about those guys. Why they get suspended?
The newscast that Attorney General Liz.
All right, so I'm gonna say this one. I got another one about from the Attorney General of Louisiana. But let us go to. All right, I don't know if y'all have seen, but there's actually more footage of these guys breaking out of jail, which is again just totally crazy. It is amazing that it's taking this long. But anyway, let me pull this in. This is shout out to Ground News. I need Ground News to sponsor my show. That's what I need them to do. All right. So, all right. They actually have more footage of these guys breaking out. Crazy stuff. I'm sure they got all of it, truth be told. I bet you they got all the footage. They just need to go ahead and just break it down. Let everybody see it. We got it. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Actually, there's nothing to hear. I apologize. Forgot about that. So they've already snuck out. They're walking down the loading dock, it looks like. Oh, it says alley door. So they're clearly outside. Front light. What's front? Oh, wait, where is this? They are straight up just walking down the street. They're just straight chilling. Oh, let's hold on. We gotta look at it. I gotta read this article now. I heard New Orleans has like the most. Oh, they didn't even blink when the lights came on. Has the most cameras of any major city, I was told. I don't know if that's true or not, but man, I mean, they got these cats like they got these guys on point. Okay, what does it say here? New Orleans Central. Okay, WDS has obtained new video showing 3 escaped inmates walking in the New Orleans Central Business District. The video shows the 3 inmates walking on Barron Street near the intersection of Howard Avenue. The video was taken the night of May 16th, which is when the inmates escaped. It's unclear which inmates were in the video. I guess we could probably figure that out. This video comes as Louisiana State Police are working around the clock to find the remaining 5 inmates on the run. So far, we're not going to go over those names. We already know who's been caught. We know who's still on the lam. A maintenance worker at the jail and 2 women. This is my first time hearing this. And 2 women have been arrested and are facing charges after they are accused of helping the inmates. 3 New Orleans Parish Sheriff Office employees have been suspended as the investigation into the breach continues. I want to know who it was. Oh, well, why are they not showing these women? Why are they showing the brother man like that? But they ain't showing the women. Marshall, you live in New Orleans, am I right? I think you do. Marshall says some of that is in the back alley behind buildings. Okay. All right. So let's keep this game going. Oh, here is the question about those women. Sorry about that. All right. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
To require jails all across Louisiana to now notify the public immediately if an inmate breaks out. The bill that was filed by Mandy Landry from New Orleans was initially filed to create better protections for victims of crime. However, Metairie-based State Rep Debbie Villio attached language today to that bill that will require all jails to provide immediate notification to law enforcement, victims, media, and the public if an inmate escapes.
In a statement, Villio says if someone doesn't have the sense to do what is right when an inmate breaks from custody, then maybe they'll remember to do what is legal. She goes on to say it is mind-boggling that we have to create yet another law to force a leader to take responsibility, to act with accountability, and to govern with sensibility. And we will continue to bring you.
That is so funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, the mugshots are all over the place. Wait, what happened? Is it loud? What was loud? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's pretty wild, man. They got to come up with a new law to tell you to do the right thing, aka let people know when a criminal breaks out of jail. We're going to talk about some of these guys have been professional jailbreakers for a while. So let's look at this. Oh, we just talked about, this is his attorney. We just did his attorney. Yep. Oh, wait, is this something new? No. So today is day 6 and they have not caught anybody else. So let's, that I know of at least, let's bring this in. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Let's talk about it.
Law enforcement is playing a possibly dangerous game of cat and mouse with a man all too familiar with breaking the rules.
Antoine Massey, he's one of the 5 inmates still on the run after escaping the Orleans Parish Justice Center. And as Eleanor Tabone explains, this is not the first time he's escaped.
Wow.
Last Friday, just after lunch, 6 inmates escaped from the city's juvenile jail called the Youth Study Center.
Before the Juvenile Justice Intervention Center became what it is today, it was the Youth Study Center. In 2007, Antoine Massey escaped from here. According to our partners at NOLA.com, police found Antoine Massey on the Interstate 10 service road in eastern New Orleans. At the time, Massey was being held on armed robbery and aggravated assault charges.
The bottom line is that every child that's detained in that facility poses a great and grave risk to public safety, and that's the reason they're detained there.
NOLA.com reported at the time the juveniles took advantage of a broken lock to get into a room that contained metal shackles, then used the heavy objects to break a window and escape. Fast forward to 2019. He escaped from Morehouse Detention Center just outside of Monroe. He was caught the same day, but in Texas.
I believe that Antoine Massey probably wasn't handled properly.
Then in 2023, Massey did it again.
In November of 2023, Antoine Massey was ordered into our ankle monitor program, and he was placed on ankle monitor, and 2 very short hours later, he cut his ankle monitor off.
Matt Dennis with Assured Supervision Accountability Program, or ASAP, an electronic monitoring company, says Massey was a red flag from the start.
The truth is, Antoine Massey didn't just escape my ankle monitor. We received him after escaping an ankle monitor. We were warned.
He says Massey's history of escapes should have been a warning that he must be taken seriously.
If you're going to run a brick and mortar jail with 4 walls, I'm not sure that the first floor is where you should keep very dangerous people or people that know how to escape. I don't think that you should keep them on a tier or in a pod where there's no live deputies walking around.
According to documents WWL Louisiana got this week, investigators say 33-year-old Sterling Williams, a jail maintenance worker, is facing charges after he confessed to helping the 10 inmates escape. The documents say he acted under orders from escaped inmate Antoine Massey, who allegedly threatened to shank him if he refused.
Antoine Massey doesn't belong on an ankle monitor. Antoine Massey doesn't belong on the first floor of an unsupervised pod.
Eleanor Tabone, WWL Louisiana.
And we reached out to several agencies to determine where Massey was placed on an ankle monitor before the 2023 incident, and we're still waiting to hear back.
I bet you are. Wow. Okay, I got questions. All right, real quick. I know nothing about ankle monitors. How are they charged? How do ankle monitors? Maybe I need to look this up. How do ankle monitors work? Like, how do they charge them? Wow. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Shonda. This story is getting more and more ridiculous. Like, why were these guys on the first floor? Period. Somebody sent me. Maybe this is how ankle monitors work. I don't know. I'm scared to open this up. Oh, these are the women that helped him? Yikes. Oh, I got questions. Hold on. Let me. All right. So the women that helped them get out have email has appeared in my email box. We'll pull them up in a second. The ankle monitor program is a real problem here in NOLA. The police just arrested a doctor for cutting off an ankle monitor of a relative. How do they charge them though? Do they have like forever batteries or something? Are they like my Whoop? You put the battery slides on to the thing like this, like so it doesn't have to take it off, and it charges like that. Is that how it works? How do ankle monitors get charged? I might be asking the wrong question. Hey, there's some reformed ankle monitor wearers in here. There's some reformed folk in here. No, they might work for the company, Shonda. They might work for the company that makes the ankle monitors, and they are the engineers, and they know how they work. I just have no idea. That's a great question, though. I have no idea how the ankle monitors work. I guess I never thought of that. Several criminals have cut. So apparently you can't take them off because I keep seeing the word cut, and we're able to disengage their monitors. Why would you do that? Like, does it know? Okay, now we done went into ankle monitor. So if you cut off the ankle monitor, does it know that it's not attached to a human being? Does it like take a heart rate or something? Because what would stop me from cutting it off and just leaving it at the crib, and then me go do my business and then come back or whatever? Like, how does that work? I know I propose they were on the first floor because other cells above had broken doors. Well, they said there was like 160 doors. I mean, that's a lot of doors that are broken. So there's probably a whole bunch of shenanigans back and forth like that. So that's a great question, though, or great comment, rather. You can put on your cat within 4 seconds. Like, why would I put my ankle monitor on? Why would I not just put it on my kid? Like, does it know that it's off? Like, does it have a heart rate monitor? I'm sure they probably do now. Maybe it knows that it's on a live human. I don't know, but that's crazy. I have no idea. Oh, well, there you go. A cat would move around. Why could you not put on your Labrador? Like, why not? Okay, let me get these pictures up because these pictures look like there's something we need to investigate. Hold on one second. All right. Okay, so we found the women. Okay, we'll save those till after. Oh my gosh. I got so many questions. Hold on. Are these really them? No, these are people. No, these are people arrested in Portland. They're not arrested in this. Hold on. These are not. It says Portland mugshots. It doesn't say, no, these are not them. I don't think this is them, friend. Because I'm looking at it, it says Portland mugshots. Yeah, it says Portland. Recently arrested in Portland. Unless unless they went and all ran to Portland, I guess. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm even looking at, yeah, even the mugshots have the emblem of the sheriff, and that's not New Orleans. Yeah, that's not them. Dang, that's not them. But before we get too far afield, I do want to hear from the AG. She's outside of the Justice Center talking about what happened there and all the new whatevers. One of the women booked an Uber. I did hear a woman booked an Uber. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. All the information that Uber has on you. That was probably one of the high levels of dumbness. If there could be a high level of dumbness, that was a dumb move. Inmates from the lower 9th Ward to New Orleans East. Yeah, that was dumb. And then put that poor Uber driver in jeopardy. Because that Uber driver is catching it from them. And whoever ordered it too. And they already know, man, they got her credit card, her address, they know where she was located when she did it. Man, Uber, that's the worst thing you want to do. You better say, bro, you better get you a bike, my guy. You better get you a whole bicycle. All right, here, let me pull this in. Let's talk about it. Let's go. All right, let's go. All right, this is the AG of New Orleans. Aha, now this picture looks right. Now this picture looks correct. Yes, okay, now we got the right picture. Shout out to the best producer on the planet. Mandy got me the right pictures in the chat. In there, we're gonna be looking at those in a second. Let's go.
Merle had wrapped up a tour of the Orleans Parish Jail where that jailbreak happened Friday. She's been speaking outside on the steps ever since. We want to listen in now.
And stable, I think, in terms of its day-to-day operations. I think there's still a lot of things that we need to do.
Are there any inmates still on that first floor? And if there are, what are the charges they're facing?
So I don't know. I mean, I don't have.
Did you tour the areas?
I walked around. There are inmates on the first floor. I can answer that question affirmatively. I don't know who they are or why they're here.
Do you have any
question
any of those inmates that would be considered needing to be under more maximum security to a higher floor?
I mean, I assume that and I don't assume it. I know that they told me that they have a management system for managing high risk inmates. That's part of their population management protocols.
You don't know if there's any of those high risk individuals like those that escaped on Friday still on the first floor?
I have no individual knowledge of it. I certainly didn't see anybody. I mean, that whole area where the escape occurred there's nobody there that I saw today. It's a different area.
Do you feel like they learned from this and are working well to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I do. I mean, has everything changed? Yes and no. I mean, everything has changed in the sense that, we had a very significant escape from this facility. And, in my view, that means everything has changed. And that means everybody needs to change their attitude and their approach to whatever the status quo was before that. At the same time, you still have operations, you still have day-to-day staffing, you still have a lot of protocols and things that are in place. You still have a consent decree that requires very specific conduct and things in this facility. None of that's changed, So, I mean, while everything has changed, in some ways, nothing's changed. I do think that, they've certainly are very, very closely paying attention to operations here with their existing population.
Some people who know this jail, some people who know this facility have said that this was only a matter of time. Do you feel that way?
I think that, I think there were some conditions in play that certainly contributed to making it conducive to what happening.
We've talked a lot about staffing shortages. Whenever you were in there, did you notice shortages? Do they have any extra guards on duty, just given what happened?
That's a really impossible question to answer, because you're never in all places at all time. Like I would actually have to sit there and look at not just today, but a week, a month, 6 months, and weekends, and everything else. I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of would play into my opinion about that. I just probably can't say.
Is the jail making the proper rounds based on the consent decree and the mandate every 30 minutes?
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask the monitor and look at the reports that they issue. I mean, I've looked at some of those. I know they've done some audits of that and found non-compliance on some of that. But
I gotta call shade. I got to throw a flag on the play. Let me get flag on the play. Ma'am, if y'all just go back and audit what y'all was doing on Friday, here it is right here.
Flag on each and every one of y'all.
If you just go back and watch what y'all was doing on Friday when these guys broke out, audit that. Were you doing what you need to be doing, was supposed to be doing on then? Because I mean, we watch inmates just wander around like they're in the mall or something. Come on. It's fair to say that they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. Now, sure, now they're probably doing it better than they ever have. But why? Because they just lost 10 inmates, man. They just lost 10 residents. That's crazy. I'm sorry. There's 5 still missing. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Of course now you're going to see everybody's doing whatever. That's not the point. And we have it on video. So if you go back and watch that video and say, hey, you're supposed to be monitoring this every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes, supposed to be doing, camera turn or whatever like that. What happened? Like that, to me, that day needs to be the day that you audit, not today, but that day, last Friday. Using the word day a lot. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat. Let's go.
Not drilled down on that piece of it yet on what the historical compliance is. I'm sure they can tell you.
When you toured, did you see any deputies making rounds, cell checks, things like that?
Well, there were deputies on the pods. I mean, they're present, they're there.
I got to stop again, y'all. Come on now. Come on. If you know that wherever you work, if you know that the higher up person, the big wigs are in your building, are you going to be doing what you're supposed to be doing? This is not revelation knowledge. I really hope this is not something new that journalists had never considered, that people behave. Well, what's the old axiom? When the cat's away, the mice will play. Ma'am, come on. That question was ridiculous. Sure, I know you saw the deputies doing their rounds because they ain't got nothing else to do. They on lockdown, for crying out loud. I'm sorry. These questions are not the best questions. I'm sorry.
Whether that was true last week, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I wasn't here.
That's the $1,000 question.
They were there today.
Have you spoken with the sheriff about how many were when it happened?
A lot of people are we're all involved in evaluating what was going on when it happened. And so to the extent that it's part of my open investigation, I'm not going to speak to that.
With so many investigations you're investigating, because Moreno wants investigation, the sheriff says she's doing an investigation. How will y'all all come together?
Well, the sheriff's the sheriff's will be and can be concurrent in the sense that she can do administratively what she needs to do administratively. I'm open. I have a criminal investigation that's underway. I may have conclusions, observations, and recommendations that don't relate to criminal prosecutions. It's based solely on the things that I've seen and the people that I've talked to in the process. But my objective is to conclude that part of the investigation and then hand it off to other people who may have other roles in this process. Certainly the city council will, and there's other people that will. I mean, you may end up with legislative hearings and people like that. There's going to be a lot of interest in continuing to dissect what happened, who, what, when, how, where, why. All of those questions will continue to be evaluated, not just by me, but by other people who have decision-making authority.
Did you try to crawl through that hole?
No, it's blocked off now.
So the pod is prepared now. So
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not watch this before. Why did you ask that woman, did she try to crawl through that hole? What is wrong with y'all people? Sometimes I think journalists just ask questions to be asking them. I'm sorry. That did you try to crawl through that hole? Now, I would have said this though. I would have been probably surprised if she said, absolutely, I did. Absolutely. I knew that that would have been kind of wild. So I think the question is ridiculous. I would have appreciated an answer that she had tried it. Why do you want her to crawl through? You go crawl through it. You ask and you go in there and crawl through that hole. Turn it into like a Disney World. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go.
The toilet is fixed, the cell door is fixed.
No, the whole place, the whole area
Crime
is
scene.
not not being used right now.
Obviously, exactly what you were saying about people are.
Sorry, what were the repairs with the welders who came? What did they?
I don't think that I should speak to that. I mean, they have secured the area, and it is a crime scene. So they have secured the area, and I think that's the most important thing. I mean, obviously that's what needed to be done immediately.
Just going back to what you were saying about.
And I have one more question, then I have to leave to go to Baton Rouge.
People are feeling it. You said that.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, what's your message for them? Like, I know we've been talking about it. There are a lot of people who are not feeling safe this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. What do you tell them?
I tell them to be alert. I think that, we still have 5 escaped inmates who we presume to be armed and dangerous. So I think that everyone should continue to stay alert. If you see something, you should say something. You should absolutely not provide any material assistance to these individuals, because if we will figure that out, we will prosecute you. So, I think that the best thing that anybody can do, if they see something, they should report it so that we can get these people back in custody as soon as possible. And if anybody is, has a particular involvement with one of these individuals and is uncomfortable or fearful, they should reach out to the district attorney's office, to their victim witness coordinator. I will have a point of contact in my office who they can also could also reach out to. But and I think the police department has a victim witness coordinator, and they could reach out to them. But I know that those resources already were urging any individual who is uncomfortable to make sure that they let them know so they could help them.
Do you have a comment on the arrest of State Representative Crowley?
No, I didn't even. When did that happen? Yeah, I've been inside.
Estimated just the resources that are being put into this. I mean, statewide resources, a lot of money. Talk about just the amount of dollar amount it's taking to capture these inmates and the resources statewide that it's taking.
I don't know exactly how much money, but I could tell you it's a lot. I mean, there are a lot of resources that are engaged right now. And what I would say is we should invest on the front end instead of having to expend these resources on the back end. If we can make sure that they get the right locks and hinges on their doors, that's a big deal. Like, that saves us a lot of money on the back end. So, I mean, I think that we shouldn't be kind of, what do they say? A penny wise and a pound foolish. Like, let's invest in what we need to invest to harden this facility for the reality of the population that is managed here. To me, that's kind of an absolute objective for all of us.
I just think it's a lot of overtime. And
it is. There's no doubt it's a lot of money. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See y'all.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
All right. I don't know if they're going to say anything else. Let's see real quick.
Catherine. All right, so we just heard from Attorney General Liz Murrow, who really talked about in depth of what she saw here earlier today as she toured the Orleans Justice Center. She did say that this facility does need many upgrades. She said she saw a lot of cell doors that needed upgrades, and there are a lot of serious violent offenders here at this facility as well. She talked about the process of moving these sentences along, moving the legal process along to get these inmates in state penitentiaries. Now, District Attorney Jason Williams also spoke earlier today. He did not go into depth. He just really said that they're surveying the scene. They're checking out a crime scene. But we do want to listen to the two of them about what they saw here at this facility today.
We toured the facility, the AG and myself. We were able to ask some questions and actually see up close and personal the space, the surrounding space, and the fence where the escape was made. Whether it's a murder case, a rape case, or a jailbreak, prosecutors always need to take a look at the crime scene.
There's a lot of things that need to happen at this facility. There's a lot of things that they were showing me that they've been asking for, and explaining to me why they need those things, and how, you know, whatever it was designed for in the beginning, it's not serving that purpose now. What some of the special considerations are with different populations of people.
All right, that was the end of that. So shout out to that. This is a crazy story. This story is absolutely bonkers. Now I want to real quick, because thank you so much. Miss Mandy sent me
Since 10
fantastic
violent
the information about the women that help them out, and then we'll end with Pink Book Lessons. She did a great summary of the whole story, and I just thought it was fun. I like to support good content creators. I'll try to leave all the links to these in the description below. So let's go ahead real quick and bring in these young ladies right here. These are the women. These are the two women have been arrested for aiding and abetting the escaped NOLA prisoners. They face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. One woman offered food and shelter. The other was a getaway driver. Yo, that is crazy. That's it right there. I wonder if one of them was the one that got the Uber. But think about it, man. You done went through all this to help these guys. They gonna end up back in jail, and now your backside is in jail. Talk about a waste of time. Talk about a waste. Good gracious. Now somebody asked about the bond. I didn't talk about it today. We did talk about it yesterday. The maintenance man is getting $100,000 bond for everybody that escaped. That's the most New Orleans thing I've heard in my life. That's the most Louisiana thing I've ever heard. So basically, 100,000 times 10, $1 million. He gonna stay in jail for a minute. That's well, I mean, it is what it is. I wonder if the same thing's gonna apply to these women right here. If they're gonna get the same kind of situation where, yeah, 100,000 per criminal. Oh, the one on the right, Marshall said. Thank you, Marshall. The one on the right is the one that booked. Oh, so is that why they're calling her a getaway driver? Because she scheduled the Uber? That's crazy. It's just, you done put your whole life, and they don't look old. So let's just say they're 30, 33. You're about to go to jail for 5 years over some dumb stuff that ultimately ain't gonna benefit nobody, because the dude gonna end up back in jail, and now your round head is in jail. That is crazy. The one smiling, yeah, she's the one. She ordered the Uber. Okay, good luck with that. Good luck with that. They're going to jail, man. They're going to jail. You're going to jail. You know what? I think I got something for her. I got something for her. For these sisters right here.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
That's right, man. You're going to jail for no good reason. No good reason. Nothing. No benefit. No benefit. Lights out. Lights out. No good reason. You're just going to jail. You're going to jail. That's crazy. They've been manipulated for sure. All right, let's go. All right. Now there is actually an article, not an article. This is the Louisiana State. Let me pull this in. This is kind of dope. Shout out to Mandy sending it to me. All right. Two arrested in assisting the fugitives after the escape from New Orleans, or Orleans. Let me call it the right thing. Orleans. Let me get myself out of here so I can get more room. Y'all don't want to see me. There we go. Orleans Justice Center. And this was issued today. New Orleans law enforcement agencies have been working around the clock to locate the inmates who escaped from Orleans Justice Center on May 16th. At this time, 5 of the inmates have been located, while 5 are still unaccounted for. As the search investigation continues, LSP, Louisiana State Patrol investigators determined that 2 individuals assisted some of the fugitives. As a result, 32-year-old Courtrin Harris of New Orleans and 38-year-old Conteri Baptiste of Slidell were arrested. Okay, like I said, I knew they were in their 30s. The initial investigation revealed that before the escape, Harris was in contact via phone with an escapee who remains at large. Furthermore, investigators determined that Harris transported 2 escapees who remain at large to multiple locations in New Orleans. Oh, she drove them around. Oh, she was just doing like a little tour. They was doing a tour. Wow, that is wild. Okay. Determined that Harris transported 2 escapees who remain at large to multiple locations in New Orleans. Investigators also determined that Baptiste was in contact via phone and social media with escapee Corey Boyd. He's been captured so far, and helped facilitate getting him food while he was in hiding in a residence. As a result of she didn't call Uber Eats for that boy. This is crazy. As a result of the investigation, Harris and Baptiste were placed under arrest and charged with 1 felony count each, accessory after the fact, right? They transported and booked in the Palcomanines Parish Detention Center. According to Louisiana law, those convicted of accessory after the fact shall be fined not more than $5,000 or imprisoned with or without hard labor for not more than 5 years, or both. Wow. Law officials, enforcement personnel have from multiple locations and states and federal agencies will continue to pursue every lead until the remaining fugitives are located. Those who choose to assist or conceal these individuals are violating the law and will be held accountable. Harboring fugitives threatens the safety of our communities and will not be tolerated. So think about it. They're going to end up paying $5,000. They could have turned these guys in and got the bread. They could have got a $20K. Come up. That's myopic thinking. That's myopic thinking. Wow. All right, man. That is some crazy stuff right there. Shout out to them. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Mandy. That was dope. Appreciate it. All right, let's go. Now, Pink Book Lessons. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons. Fantastic content creator. She did a good summary because they were talking about how I think this is a point that we've talked about and kind of danced around, if you will, is the fact that historical female-led New Orleans implodes as they blame each other over the great Pookie escape. Let's go ahead and listen to what Pink Book Lessons has to say. Shout out to Pink Book.
So right now, we can't afford a maintenance service contract. We have maintenance staff that are on board that do the day-to-day. But right now, our current budget sits at about $68 million. 41.1 million comes from the city, 13 million comes from the village, and about 10.1 million a quarter is given to us. Right now, our payroll is about 9.6. Our food expenses is $780,000 a quarter. That eats up the money. We don't have the funding available to have a full maintenance contract to do this. We've explained this on multiple occasions. Just on Monday, we went to the City Planning Commission and we reported this out. We asked for the money to secure this. So the funding is not available to do what needs to be done.
What does it say? And I mean this respectfully, but you said, and I'm going to quote you here, that you observed those guys running out at 1 o'clock in the morning. What does it say for jailhouse safety and security when you see a jailbreak like that, but you fail to notify anyone, NOPD, the public, anyone? We didn't say that. What did you say then?
Yeah. We observed on the video later this morning. We had to pull that video.
He said you observed at 1 a.m.
There is a lot of finger pointing going on after a public safety catastrophe that's deeply humiliating for Southeast Louisiana law enforcement, especially in New Orleans. You have the jail CFO blaming the city's budget, saying they need more money. OG City Girl Mayor Contrell, who oversees the city, is telling everyone it's okay and encouraging people to continue visiting even while there's a gang of inmates on the loose. Then you've got Mayor Contrell's appointee, Ann Kilpatrick. She too is getting blamed for failing to alert the public in a timely manner. There was a 2 to 3 hour delay, and the sheriff, She's completely dodging accountability for her own jail, blaming everything on her political opponents.
We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye in this investigation. And why did it happen just right now, right? In the middle, as we're getting ready to start this sheriff's race. This is very suspicious. We know that they had help. We're showing you they had help. This was coordinated. There's much more than meets the eye. When I have enough information, I'll be glad to talk to the community about my issues or what I need, anything I may need to apologize. This is a public safety issue first and foremost. There's much more than meets the eye. We are digging and we are not going to stop.
Are you suggesting that your opponents are orchestrating this from behind the scenes?
What is OPSO doing tonight to make sure that this facility is safe and that no one else can escape? Once again, Sheriff.
They ain't giving her no
You
room.
can't make this stuff up. Take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
To New Orleans now, and a demand for answers following the escape of 10 hardened criminals. Surveillance video at the jail captured the brazen breach. CBS's Katie Weiss is in New Orleans with the latest. It almost sounds like something out of a movie, Katie.
Oh, absolutely, Jerika. Good evening. That's definitely a way to characterize what happened here. That escape now has hundreds of officers searching even across state lines on an exhaustive manhunt.
Heads need to roll.
Outrage is growing in New Orleans after 10 inmates made a daring prison break early Friday morning. They managed to break through a cell wall by removing a toilet, leading them to a loading dock and freedom. It was 7 hours before anyone noticed they were gone. No deputy was on duty. Only a civilian employee was there at the time.
When she stepped away to grab food, that is when they began their attempts to escape.
3 prison guards have now been suspended. New Orleans City Councilman Oliver Thomas.
And I think the sheriff should lead in making sure that people are prosecuted who were negligent or complicit or in cooperation with the folk who escaped.
The inmates wrote taunting parting messages, including "too easy, LOL."
They were then observed scaling the fence using blankets to avoid being cut by the barbed wire.
Governor Jeff Landry posting on social media, quote, 3 down, 7 to go. Lock them up. State police captured Robert Moody, Kendall Miles, and DeKeenan Dennis, and today used a helicopter to bring them to another Louisiana prison.
Our number one mission, despite anything else right now, is to get these people in custody.
And even though this prison was rebuilt in 2015, the sheriff's office is also pointing blame on the city for failing to pay for what they say were needed fixes to faulty locks. Jerika?
Katie Weiss in New Orleans. Thank you.
Listen, y'all, this is some straight up mess. 10 Pookies escaped from the New Orleans jail. They had 2 inmates to a cell, these 10 in 5 separate cells. They ended up breaking out of them before all 10 of them crowded into one handicap accessible cell. From there, they removed a toilet and cut through rebar to escape. The first signs of the break occurred around 12:23 a.m., all of it caught on surveillance. It took them nearly 40 minutes to create an opening large enough to get out the building. Then they used blankets to shield themselves from the barbed wire as they scaled and hopped the fence. 17 minutes later, after escaping the building, they were spotted on camera running across Interstate 10. One fool got caught in the French Quarter, and by 10:29 p.m. that evening, the city notified residents that 3 of those 10 inmates had been caught, urging the public to contact authorities if they saw any of the remaining 7 still out there on the loose. Now, the whole weekend has passed, and at the time of this video, those 7 inmates are still missing. And this, despite the fact that multiple agencies are involved, NOPD, the Sheriff's Office, other local law enforcement agencies in nearby jurisdictions, the Louisiana State Troopers, even the FBI and U.S. Marshals. Those 7 inmates are...
All right. Shout out to Pink Book. We got to stop for a second, y'all. We got to stop for a second. I just dropped a new poll. I want to know what we need. We might need to rename this. Do we keep it the Great New Orleans Jailbreak? Do we call it the Pookie Escape, or do we call it the Unsupervised Inmate Field Trip? Let me know in the comment down below. I mean, in the poll below. Select your answer. Next. Did you hit the like button? What's going on, man? Get my likes right. Get my likes right. I don't know about this whole restroom thing. Where's the video of the breaking down of the toilet? Apparently, from my understanding, it sounds like it was easily removed from the wall. Now, I don't know, maybe the plumber, when he cut the water off, maybe it was already, because he cut the water off, maybe that's why it was already easily accessible or whatever. I don't know. So that's just a little 2 cents there. Let's bring Pink Book back because I know y'all don't want to hear me ramble. Shout out to Pink. Let's go.
Are still at large. And these are not low-level offenders. One of them already convicted of homicide. The rest are facing charges like second-degree murder, robbery. I'm talking violent offenders. So certainly this is a major threat to public safety.
It's our top story now. Investigators warn that the 7 escapees on the loose could be armed and dangerous. 27-year-old Derek Groves, convicted gunman who killed 2 people on Mardi Gras Day in 2018. Groves was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the crime last October, but he had not been transferred to the Department of Corrections custody. An internal document shows officials are specifically concerned that he may go after witnesses who testified during his trial.
32-year-old Antoine Massey was being held on domestic abuse and vehicle theft charges. Massey has a history of separate escapes. Records indicate he is wanted in St. Tammany Parish for kidnapping, and 19-year-old Corey Boyd is accused of murdering Brandon Fees. 26-year-old Linton Van Buren was being held on a guns charge. He's accused of murder in a separate case where he allegedly shot a man in New Orleans East in 2021. 42-year-old Jermaine Donald was booked on second-degree murder and battery charges. 31-year-old Leo Tate is awaiting trial on burglary, drugs, and weapons charges. 21-year-old Gary Price was arrested in early April and was being held without bail for his alleged involvement in an attempted first-degree murder case.
Look at them. A bunch of low-life pookies. You see why they did this? They had nothing to lose. One of them already convicted on a murder case, on his way to the state penitentiary for life.
Governor Jeff Landry increased the reward for information leading to the recapture of the inmates you just saw. He says he's going to cover part of the increase himself.
Jacob Bradford details the efforts to recapture these 7 men.
As the search for 7 inmates charged with violent offenses stretches into day 3, Governor Jeff Landry is increasing the reward, along with State Senate President Cameron Henry.
In addition to the FBI increasing their award from $5,000 to $10,000, I would ask that you go ahead and increase the Crime Stoppers award to $5,000. That's a $3,000 increase. Both Senator Henry and I are going to cover that amount.
Now the reward has increased to $20,000 per inmate. In the wake of the escape, Governor Landry has asked the Attorney General to investigate how the brazen escape happened from the Orleans Justice Center last Friday and who is responsible. He is also having the state's Department of Corrections do an audit of the Justice Center on compliance for basic jail guidelines.
9 of these 10 escapees were sitting in jail waiting to go to trial. Had they gone to trial, had they been convicted, had they been sentenced, they will most likely not be in Orleans Parish Jail, but in our custody in one of the state penitentiaries.
The governor signed executive orders in the aftermath of the jailbreak.
This executive order will mandate the commission to specify specific review triggers, including reviewing the number of judge trials and acquittal rates in criminal courts. There should be an automatic review of any judge that has a disproportionate number of acquittals, as we have seen here in Orleans Parish.
Another executive order instructs Louisiana's Inspector General to get an inventory of pretrial detainees in the Orleans Justice Center and those awaiting sentences to have them removed.
Like Derek Groves, the escapee, who pled guilty to manslaughter in October of last year and was awaiting sentencing. If he would have been sentenced by our court system, he most likely would not have had an opportunity to escape.
Louisiana State Police Leader Colonel Robert Hodges says family members and friends are helping those that escaped, but says he believes tips will lead to arrests soon.
We're confident this time that we have actionable intelligence on all 7 of those fugitives. And we hope in the coming days, if not the coming hours, that we have them all apprehended, but we need the public's help.
One person not at the press conference was Sheriff Susan Hudson. When asked where she was, the governor was blunt.
I don't know. Hopefully minding the jail.
Mayor Cantrell also spoke, saying that while this is happening, the city is still welcoming people and hosting celebrations, but to remain vigilant.
Our focus remains the same. Manhunt, we will get it done. Thank you very much.
And the hot potato blame game here has got to be studied. You've got the CFO of the jail blaming the city for budget issues. So basically, she's throwing it on the mayor. And then the mayor's girl that she appointed, the head of the New Orleans PD, she's trying not to throw the sheriff under the bus, but it's obvious there was a lack of communication here.
That's basic information that we have right now. We, on our part, NOPD, will keep you informed. But these escapees are in our city, although they had been under the care of the sheriff's department, but we will be working in partnership on this.
Superintendent, we know that these inmates went missing around sometime after midnight. The sheriff's office didn't find out until 8:30 this morning.
Ooh.
The public was not notified until sometime after 10 o'clock this morning. How crucial is time to, number one, recapture these individuals, but also to alert partner agencies as well as the public to be on the lookout for them?
Well, that's why I'm here. So I only learned about it as well. And I spoke with the sheriff, and she was going to be doing her media response, was we wanted to give her that opportunity to do so. And I understand that she has, but we were not going to wait. So when we learned about it, we knew the immediacy to at least inform the public. Even if we didn't have pictures ready and all of the names ready, we didn't have that either. But we need to let our public know.
She should have notified sooner.
You know, something we'll deal with that at another time, but we are working collaboratively as we always have. But we, wanted to immediately notify our public.
Then the governor is throwing shade at the sheriff. She wasn't even at the press conference. And one of the reporters was like, hey, where's the sheriff? And Governor Landry said, I don't know. Hopefully she's minding the jail.
Where's the sheriff today? I don't know. Hopefully minding the jail.
Because obviously she wasn't. And ultimately, that's the person who's going to catch the most heat. I'm talking about Sheriff Hudson. And she should. As the sheriff, it's her responsibility to secure the jail and everybody in it. So as much as they want to blame everybody else, the sheriff is the real problem. It was almost an hour from the time they left their 5 cells to the time they were seen on I-10. That's crazy. How do you get out of jail, leave the premises, not just one of them, but 10, and nobody saw anything? Yeah, that's because nobody was doing their job. And get this, the woman responsible for watching them that night, she stepped away to get food. Didn't even notice any movement in the area she was assigned to monitor. Either that or she just simply wasn't watching. She didn't even go back to check the footage. I mean, no oversight at all. They reportedly didn't even find out about the Great Pookie escape until the morning during a head count. By that time, they had been roaming the streets with an 8-hour head start. And then when the sheriff found out, she still waited to inform the public. In my opinion, she took too long to alert NOPD. And then NOPD took another 2.5 hours to alert the public. This is crazy because you're dealing with dangerous, desperate people who will probably do anything. You remember the last case I covered just a week ago? The Georgia Clayton County inmate who escaped, stole a woman's car, and caused tens of thousands of dollars in damage in just 8 minutes? The victim of that case, a woman, was put in danger after the female officer guarding the inmate at the hospital reportedly fell asleep on the job. Just stupid and negligent all around. And I have to be honest, I gotta say it because nobody else will. You have a lot of women in positions they shouldn't be in, mostly because these agencies refuse to pay men what they should be paid. So there's a shortage. And what they do? They go for cheaper, lower quality labor. The same thing that ruined the whole job market from the beginning. I'm talking decades back. You know, back in the day, women didn't have to work. A family.
Let's have a conversation, y'all. I'm gonna back this up. You know, I rock with Pink Book. I don't know if it's a matter of them paying them less. And now if you can show me that Sheriff Hudson gets paid less than Sheriff Jim Bob, then there we go. And again, it's got to be a pound for pound. I don't think that's it. I think the problem is that there's too many positions, and they can't say, by the way, this is a male position. Even that what I just said right there probably cause some consternation right there from the word go. I don't think a lot of these positions should be. I mean, it looks like it's female led. It looks like it's. I mean, you got the mayor, the chief of police, the the sheriff, the AG, the CEO of the jail, all of them are women. I'm not saying that they can't do the job. I'm just saying, look what we're looking at. I think there's, this one, I don't know about that one, Pink, because otherwise then that falls into the wage gap disparity. And I don't want, if that's not true, then I don't want to put that out there as a false number. Thank you so much, Pam Bondi, for rolling with us. We appreciate you for sure. Let's go.
And I have to be honest, I gotta say it because nobody else will. You have a lot of women in positions they shouldn't be in, mostly because these agencies refuse to pay men what they should be paid. So there's a shortage. And what they do, they go for cheaper, lower quality labor. The same thing that ruined the whole job market from the beginning. I'm talking decades back. You know,
I would be willing to say, I would roll with if you said less qualified labor, but just saying that they're cheaper just because I don't know that. Maybe it is true that Sheriff Hutton is getting paid significantly less than Sheriff Dearwood Christian. And let's assume again that they're a pound for pound, everything's the same. She's getting paid considerably less. Okay. But I'm wondering if it's just that they're less qualified to do it. And therein is the rub. All right, let's go.
In the day, women didn't have to work. A family could survive off one income from the man of the house. But women fought to work, and that flooded the job market with competition. Employers no longer had to pay a man a fair wage. They could replace him with cheaper labor. And little by little, the market got destroyed. Now women have to work just to help support a household because of the very policies feminists fought for. And what do we have now? Female guards falling asleep. Female guards walking away to get food while 10 inmates escape. The female CFO blaming the city. Then the city's got their first female mayor, who appointed the first female police superintendent, who's now trying not to blame another woman, the sheriff, who's also the first woman to serve in that role in the city. Not only that, she made history as the first Black female sheriff in the whole state of Louisiana. And out of all the women running this situation, she's the one really responsible. But of course, instead of taking responsibility, she's going around blaming her ops.
So can you monitor every single person every day? No, we don't have the bodies to do that. But we do monitor and we rely on tips, and we have an intelligence unit that monitors what's going on in the jail. There's a lot of things at any given time going on.
But it's your job. It's your job to monitor every single person in this facility every day.
Visually, with our deputies on the pods.
What does it say? And I mean this respectfully, but you said, and I'm going to quote you here, that you observed those guys running out at 1 o'clock in the morning. What does it say for jailhouse safety and security when you see a jailbreak like that, but you fail to notify anyone, NOPD, the public, anyone?
We didn't say that.
What did you say then?
Yeah. We observed on the video later this morning. We had to pull that
He said you observed at 1 a.m.
We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye in this investigation. And why did it happen just right now, right? In the middle, as we're getting ready to start this sheriff's race. This is very suspicious. We know that they had help. We're showing you they had help. This was coordinated. There's much more than meets the eye. When I have enough information, I'll be glad to talk to the community about my issues or what I need, anything I may need to apologize.
They ain't give her no room.
This is a public safety issue first and foremost. There's much more than meets the eye. We are digging, and we are not going to stop.
Are you suggesting that your opponents are orchestrating this from behind the scenes?
What is OPSO doing to?
Sheriff, but you're the top dog, though. The buck stops with you. She's literally standing up at the press conference, refusing to take accountability. Like, no, ma'am, this is your department. You can blame everybody else all you want, but this one right here is on you. And your CFO up there low-key trying to blame OG City Girl American Trail for the budget. Maybe there's something there. But overall, it's the sheriff's duty to do what they have to do to secure the jail with the resources they have. And when you have people that's supposed to be monitoring inmates running off to eat, then going a whole shift without realizing 10 pookies ran out the back door.
That's crazy.
Nah, you can't blame OG City Girl American Trail for that. It's a lot you can blame her for, but this one right here, nah, that's not it. This is definitely on the sheriff's department. You're the one who put your citizens in jeopardy. It's been 4 or 5 days, and you still got 7 pookies on the loose. Everybody's in danger. They already have a history of robbing and knocking people off. You have witnesses and victims who are in danger right now, along with the general public who could come in contact with these people. And not just in your city, but at this point, they can be anywhere. The FBI said they could have crossed state lines into Mississippi, Arkansas, Texas. They even said they could be all the way in Alabama or Florida. And honestly, after 4 or 5 days, they can literally be anywhere in the country. But who knows? They're probably still right there in the city hiding out with some girlfriend or family member that's hiding them. At the end of the day, this hiring people and voting for people to make history is just silly at this point. All the female leaders involved in this case happen to be the first woman this or that. And look what's happening. It's not about gender, color, or whatever. You have to choose competent people. Look at Sheriff Hudson. Was she elected sheriff to make history, or was she elected because she was the best candidate for the job? Now y'all done gave her this position that she can't handle, and when she clearly failed in this situation, she won't even take accountability. They went all day Monday with 7 inmates still on the run. Then Monday night, they ended up capturing the 4th inmate. And since there's been more movement in the manhunt, the night after number 4 was captured, inmate number 5 was located and taken into custody. So right now at this point, 5 inmates are back behind bars and the other 5 still on the loose. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. I want to thank everybody who supported this channel. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.
Shout out to Pink Book Lessons. Shout out to Pink Book. Fantastic content creator. If the modern matter of fact, I got it right here. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all support Pink Book. She does some excellent work. I definitely stand by what she's doing. What do we got here? There you go. That link is in there. I'll put it in the description as well of the video. But you saw on Twitter. What'd you see on Twitter, Mandy? What'd you see on Twitter? I heard a rumor today that Tiffany is getting invited to do a reality show called Mr. Personality. Never heard of it. You talking about Tiffany Henyard? She need to be in jail. She need to be in jail. Why is she not in jail? That's what we need to find out. That's what we need to be doing an investigation on. Why is she not in jail? Like, how is this a thing? Why is this a thing? Why is she still free? That's the question that everybody needs to be asking. Why is Tiffany Henyard still free? Look, I hope they get them brothers before Tiffany, but I think Tiffany goes soon thereafter. For real though. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the reality TV show alone. Now, I do think Tiffany would probably do well on reality TV, but I need her to do a reality TV called Life Behind Bars. That's what I need. But yeah, there we go. All right, sorry about that. I'm looking at making sure I got all my stuff. Make sure Marshall didn't send me anything else. You send me anything else, Marshall? I don't think so. I think we're golden. I love it. Y'all, thank you so much for this. This is a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we will have a better report tomorrow. I don't think they caught anybody today. I don't think anybody's behind bars. So now, that's craziness, man. These guys get all the way out of Louisiana into Mississippi or somewhere else. That has got to be the craziest thing ever. All right, what's Apex say? Shout out to Apex, by the way. At a certain point, the way to have that many females is to divert from hiring the best. Again, I'm not against females, but I think sometimes like the representation aspect goes too far. It goes a little bit too far. Matter of fact, I was looking at I kind of gave up on Star Trek a long time ago. I gave up on Star Trek, Star Wars, really, TV watch as a whole. Just kind of gave up on it. But I noticed they had a new Star Trek show. What's it called? Strange New Worlds. And I was watching a trailer of it or a snippet of it, and I just turned it off in disgust. I'm like, there's no way possible that you can convince me that a bridge of an intergalactic spaceship is going to have 6 women on deck and 4 men. You just can't convince me of that. And I know there's a woman on there that's confused about her gender or whatever. They're doing that, but it's just like, it's a woman. And I'm like, man, at some point we lose the plot. The plot is being lost. Like literally there's like 6 women on the ship. And I was like, man, y'all doing the most, man. It don't even make sense. But anyway, that was just my little mini rant. Oh, I think they're gonna get caught. Oh, hands down, they're gonna get caught. I like catching, I like catching. I like when they catch them, pretty much on a daily basis. So today they haven't caught anybody. So Marshall got his ears to the street. Marshall got his ears to the street. I have a live stream ready. So in the event that, they catch all of them, they're all over at Wingstop or whatever, they done caught all the Pookies. Oh, by the way, let me check the poll. Oh goodness. President Firstborn just arrived. Oh my gosh. It's a dead heat. The great NOLA Manhunt and the Pookie Escape are neck and neck. If you have not voted, please go ahead and vote. Please make sure you vote. Your vote counts. But I appreciate it. Got it together. I'm ready. I'm ready. If they catch them all over there at, at Magic City, they arrest them all and they just march them out. I'm ready to go live on the immediate and celebrate. They didn't caught all of them. But in the meantime, right now, it looks like it doesn't look like it. So if you see anybody down at the Dollar General, keep me posted. Keep me posted. No. If you see them at the Dollar General, you go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. You need to get your 20K. Look, go and get your money. Don't bother me. Don't let me bother you at all. If you see them, you go ahead and tell them right now. Tell them, get your money. And hopefully you see 2 of them so you can get your 40. Call it a day. Yeah, it's a feminist agenda and it's kind of overdone. I don't know. There's a lot of them though. He probably blend in a lot of places. I don't know, man. I don't know, Shonda. I got one more for you. Thank you. I just remembered it. I did not. Yesterday we were talking about this, right? And I said, y'all, I think I didn't say it out loud. It was literally in my mind that it was in my mind that, you know what, we should make a bingo board for like who's going to get captured next. And I thought that was like poor taste. I'm like, it's probably not going to go well. People going to think that's not really, appropriate. So I didn't do it. I didn't mention it. I didn't talk about it, anything like that. Well, a friend of mine sent me this morning and said, bruh, have you seen this? And somebody has come up with, I don't even know what to call it. I'm just going to put it on. No, I don't want you to do it. No, we're going to show it. We're going to have a good laugh. We're going to be like, ha, ha, ha. And then we'll let it go. This dude has the hide and seek championship t-shirt and he's betting which one he thinks is going to get caught next. Y'all, these people are crazy. We don't deserve anything better. We deserve an asteroid. So it looks like Derek, and I don't know who this guy down at the bottom is. Let me see. I have another picture of it. Like that. That's wild. I said, that's why we don't need access to technology. We don't need it. We don't deserve it. Here we go. I got the picture. Make it a little bit bigger. All right. Can I zoom in a little bit? It won't let me zoom in. Anyway, I said, that's messed up, man. That is messed up. The hide and seek. I don't like it because I thought it was kind of insensitive to, because some of these guys are in there for some pretty gnarly things, right? So I didn't want to be fun of it. But I'm like, this dude literally made a t-shirt. That is absolutely unequivocally wild. Then it made a t-shirt talking about doggone hide and go seek champion. See, I want, and I really had a vision last night. I was like, oh, we can do like a little bingo board. And I was like, no, that's not gonna be appropriate. Because I mean, some of this would be kind of funny if it wasn't for what these guys are in jail for, it would be funny. Hold on one second, about to sneeze. All right. Whoo. Blew my eyeball out. Like, man, I put my eye back in. Anyway, y'all, I just thought that was wild. It's all what? They're betting on they'll bet on anything on FanDuel. Are you for real? Y'all, we don't deserve anything but the asteroid that we get. If we get an asteroid, we deserve it. We deserve it, man. We deserve an asteroid. That's great. You saying run Derek? Okay. Well, hey. I mean, that's what it looks like. Derek is one of this dude in the middle. Look like he's got the hide and go seek championship is crazy work. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens. We will see what happens for sure. But y'all are wild. They over here betting on that. I'm not surprised though. I'm muted. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for liking the videos. Thank you so much for finding value in it. Thank you for giving me the comments and all that kind of good stuff. Let me know. Thank you, Marshall. Y'all put Marshall in the chat because Marshall has been a blessing. Y'all just gonna put Marshall. I need to make a Marshall emoji. I might need to make a Marshall emoji, man. Send me your mugshot, Marshall. We might make a Marshall emoji. But y'all, thank you. Thank Marshall for all the great stuff that he's been sending. Bounty hunters getting paid and entering and entertaining. Absolutely. But I'm glad y'all are liking this. Tomorrow is Thursday. I will not be doing a late night stream, I don't think. It's going to be up in the air because, we got President Firstborn's graduation. So that's going to be going on. But anything happened during the day, or if something happens overnight tonight, we'll be rolling. We'll start up in the morning again, do an early morning live stream, give an update, because I think the story has been fascinating, to say the very least. But I really do appreciate that y'all have been rocking with me. So thank you so much. I really am glad that you all have found value in this. And thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for the feedback and such like that. It means a lot. And I will hope that we can continue to keep that rocking and popping. Hopefully I say that right. Okay. Thank you so much. And she's in there talking to her aunts and my mother-in-law and my wife. So there's a lot of estrogen in Whitaker Park right now, but oh well, we'll just make it work. We're gonna make it work. There's a lot of history on Derek. Is that the one that's escaped several times? Is that the one? Did you hear what the NOPD did to Derek? Grandmother? No. Oh my gosh. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Thank you so much, Shonda. I appreciate it. Yeah, President Firstborn is going to be walking the stage tomorrow. It'll be fun celebrating with her. So she just came back from rehearsal and she is very loud. I'm glad y'all can't hear her. I'm assuming y'all can't hear her because she's loud. Bless her heart. But she's excited because she's got a house full of people here for her. So I ain't mad at her. Go ahead and be happy, baby. Lots to be happy about. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Let's get ready to do this again. Lord willing, real soon. Marshall, get out there, man, and go find them, man. Marshall, get out there, my guy. Get out there. What? Derek's mom? Yo, this story. Yo, I can't even. Sign me up for the I can't even. Yeah, I'm gonna go check out my family, man, because I don't need no cops putting no hits on me, man. It's crazy. But again, thank you so much. We'll do this again, Lord willing, tomorrow or maybe sooner. Who knows? Maybe Marshall get out there and do some investigating. Go on and get your 20K, Marshall. Come on, man. Make it happen, man. His grandmom, not his mom. Boy, that story sounds crazy. That sounds bananas, y'all. But I do want to say thank y'all again. I appreciate you. Let's get ready to do this again real soon. Grace and peace. See you soon, everybody.